Hello, friends, benders and non-benders alike. Welcome to Braving the Elements, Nickelodeon's podcast about all things Avatarverse. I'm Janet Varney.
And I'm Dante Basco, and I hope you brought a towel and some sunscreen, Varney, because we're in the Fire Nation, baby, and we're hitting the beach.
You know I did. In fact, for those folks who are watching, not just listening, we are, in fact, wearing our vacation togs in honor of this massive fan favorite episode.
And speaking of fan favorites, we couldn't do this episode with at least two of the fan favorite characters in the episode. So we're joined today by our friends Olivia Hack, who voiced Ty Lee, and Cricket Leigh, who voiced May. What's up, man?
Thanks for having us.
We're so happy to have you. We have a small range, so this is me dancing in joy. It's like my hands are very close. I look like a little puppet. Yay!
We're all going on vacation together. Let's do it.
I know. Oh, this is one of those episodes where I really do feel like, how did I get so lucky that I get to just muscle my way into one of the all-time best episodes? I feel like I'm on the beach with my buddies. I am watching Azula make a fool of herself. By the way, shout out to Great Ala, who couldn't be here today, but she really wanted to. She had a work conflict, and she loves us all, and except for Zuzu. I'm sure she feels like complicated feelings about Zuzu.
Well,
but we love our Gray,
also.
so we'll have her later in the season.
Yes, I really do.
Zuko, I was wondering when you'd show up, Zuzu. Zuzu?
So when we had each of you on the podcast before, Olivia, you mentioned what kind of bender you would be. But Dante, I don't know if you guys remember this, but Dante was not here to enjoy it because he was shooting a movie. So I want him to be able to hear your answer.
Let's hear.
Would you like to ask, Basco?
I'd like to find out from these very popular Fire Nation girls what element they represent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yes.
I'm a Gemini,
Ooh.
right? So there's duality here. So I have a little
It's
water.
okay.
You know I'm a Gemini,
I'm Virgo,
Dante.
and I'm Fire Nation forever. It's okay.
So I'm a water bender. I'm go with the flow, but also like the power of fire bending is very tempting, you know? So if I said fire
I know
bender
you,
before,
Olivia. I personally know you. Don't forget that I know you.
So what am I, Dante? What am I?
I know.
If you're not Fire Nation, then I don't know what the hell is
Scorched.
going on.
I'll
there.
take it. I'll own it.
Scorched earth.
I just have to say, and I do not ever want my boy to feel sad, but the fact that I remembered you saying you were a firebender and I was so confident, and then
And then she was like, I
then
feel
I said, "What are
watery
you?"
today.
And you started every sentence I ever start with, I mean, is
I
always
love
a
it.
favorite. So that was beautiful. I want to thank you for hanging on to that firebender spirit. But I also want to say you are a Gemini and you're allowed to have layers
You know.
and complexities, and
Mhm.
we
Yeah,
all
of
are.
course.
So
I contain
you're
multitude.
representing.
But I know Olivia Hack.
And what Dante says goes. You know, sometimes we don't see ourselves.
That's a
so.
good point.
Well, there is that. I do like the question, like what other people would say you were versus what you would like to be or feel you are. That's always a good question. In fact, maybe
That is
we'll put this to Cricket. So Cricket, the last time we had you on the show, you told us you would be a mind bender, which is wonderful because we actually talked about mind bending. Some
Yes, we
super
did.
fans, we had some wonderful super fans on a recent episode, and that was one of the new types of bending that came up. And we had a spirited discussion about whether or not it was, let's say, like a light kind of positive thing or possibly more of a sinister thing. And
Okay.
everyone was making some really good arguments, but I do
Me
wish you had been there to
too.
talk about the kind of
I would have
empathy
loved
side.
to have heard the opposite. So of course I feel fiery. I feel like my personality is fiery. But I
Definitely. Fire
And yet I would
Nation.
put you as a
What?
waterbender.
Citizen.
I need
citizen
to
of
hear
the
that. So
Fire
I wonder
Nation,
what
for
people
sure.
would
Because
say
you're a
I am.
healer.
Certainly. Oh,
You're
I
a
am a healer. You're
healer.
right. But I'm nervous. See, as a human, I'm scared of water. Like, I'm not a great swimmer. I'm freaked out. I think I'm going to die in the
Oh.
water. Like, it's terrible.
Mm.
But I get like
Interesting. How are you with walking
fabulous.
into fire?
Good. I have no shoes. I wear my Crocs.
Fabulous.
My Avatar Crocs.
Easy.
So I'm good.
Great.
But no, mind bending. I mean, for me, mind bending is getting in there like fluidly, like water, and sort of helping people get used to their patterns and like understanding themselves. Whereas it sounds like that debate was also, well, what if we can get in there and do some, nefarious things?
Right.
Yeah.
A dark art.
Yeah. Fair. That's a fair
Can we
question.
trust Mindbenders
No,
to be
I guess
always,
you can't. So
There's never going to be an all good or all bad. That's what we
yin
always say,
yang.
right? It's what you do with your power
Yeah.
that kind of defines the quality of the power you're using, I think.
But I am still Fire Nation forever.
And then some. Okay. All right. This is good.
Forever.
Before we get into it, Dante, will you help us kind of remember where we are hovering in book 3 right now before we jump into this one?
Of course. So we just come back out of Sokka's master episode. So we know Sokka's on his way to becoming a master swordsman, which, by the way, is something May would respect, right?
She likes
As
a knife.
A knife master herself. Yeah. And we know that Iroh has been making the most of his time in prison by getting buff, doing that
big time,
doing good old fashioned prison workouts. Those
big
are
time.
Amazing.
Yeah.
The downside of Sokka's master is that we didn't see Zuko, May, or Ty Lee at all. Not a lot of Zuko in that episode.
Yeah.
But the upside is we didn't see Azula either.
It's a complicated relationship. It's a complicated familial relationship, and we all understand.
But Ember Island is a magical place. Keep an open mind. Give it a chance. And it can help you understand yourselves and each other. The beach has a special way of smoothing even the most ragged edges. Time to hit the beach!
I feel almost silly giving a little snippet version of what we're about to talk about, because I couldn't be more confident that if there is one episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender that the most people almost know by heart, word for word, I do feel like it's probably this episode. So we don't need to waste everyone's time by, reminding everyone what happens in this episode. We all know that it's an amazing episode. One thing that I kind of always forget about in this episode, to be honest with you, is I remember the beach so strongly, and I remember all the Fire Nation stuff so strongly that I kind of forget that Team Avatar is also in this episode, and that the sort of attack
Combustion
by Combustion Man is underway.
Combustion Man.
So that does happen.
Yeah, I just rewatched it this morning, and I was like, "Who's this guy with this third eye? What is this part of this episode?"
What's this? Yeah, exactly. It sort of fades into again, it's a tribute to this episode and the bulk of the episode being so incredibly memorable that we sort of push that off to a side a little bit. But so this episode was written by Katie Matilla. We had Katie on the podcast. She also wrote The Tale of Zuko in the Tales of Ba Sing Se episode. And she was so amazing at creating that sort of teenage angst vibe that everybody was like, she's got to write the beach. It's got to be Katie. And she hits it out of the park, right, Dante?
Amazing. So there's nothing like starting a fresh episode with a brand new animal hybrid. In this case, a manatee whale is harnessed to Azula's ship. And we learn from Ty Lee that they're headed to Ember Island for the weekend. Apparently, Zuko, May, Ty Lee, and Azula have been all sent on a forced vacation, so they're all out of the way when Ozai meets his advisors. We also learned that Zuko's family had a house on the beach there, and that their family used to go every summer. When they arrive, Lo and Leigh are waiting to take them to their house, which is kind of amazing party of pinks and oranges and purples, and it smells like the old ladies. They're not very happy about it. It's too much.
It's a lot.
But then the two old, right? It's a lot. But and also, you get to see a picture of Lo and Leigh as younger, which was kind of cool. And then two old women encourage the teens to have a good time. And how about when they reveal their bathing suits? And
I love
that
it.
Stuff?
I love their house.
They're too much.
Yeah. Oh yeah, very much so. But don't you kind of love? I'm just saying, and you don't even have to send me a percentage. But if you want to open an Airbnb in your beach house somewhere, and you want to fashion the little house or even just one room to look like Lo and Leigh's house, you're going to do great business. That is, it would be so immersive. It's so over the top. It's kind of amazing. It's like Palm Beach old lady meets this beautiful Asian
Kylie is loving those
culture.
The seashell bedspreads. She's all about it.
Oh no, the beach. Looks like it threw up on that.
Oh,
it's great.
I love it. I Love it. Yeah. I mean, listen, teens, you know what I mean? Teens, they don't always get it. Hey, could you tell from looking at it that it's a manatee whale? Because I had to look that up. I was like,
No.
I had no sense. That was one of those animals where I had no sense. I was like, you could tell me this was a combination of many different two animals, and I don't know if I would have been able to peg it.
Yeah.
You know?
And the manatee gets around as a hybrid animal.
Listen, when you say it that way.
A manatee by itself looks like a hybrid animal.
Appa's half manatee also, so we didn't know. I didn't even know. I've never met a manatee in my life, but there's so many manatees in this show.
They're the sweetest.
I mean,
little
manatee's
peas.
not an animal I think about every day.
They're the best. You better start thinking about them. There's this great organization called Save the Manatees. We raised some money for them last year because we wanted to support Appa's relatives. So shout out to Save the Manatees. Okay. Yeah.
Shout out to all the manatees in the world.
Shout out.
Where
Olivia,
are all the manatees
what happens
in the world?
next?
I don't
They're
even
mostly
know.
Florida. They're like Gulf of Mexico.
They're where Dante's vacation.
And they're kind of slow and they're sweet. That's right.
Manatees
Well, that's right.
Are in Mexico?
They're like Gulf of Mexico. I have been in a small boat and swam near manatees, and they're really slow and they're really
How big
sweet.
are they?
They're big. Yeah. I mean, they're big. They're like bigger than I feel like the one bigger than dolphins.
Like a walrus?
Like a cow?
Like a sea
like
cow.
A cow?
Like a sea cow. I think that's what sometimes people call them, sea cows.
Yeah.
They're so sweet, and they'll get hurt because they don't know to get out of the way, or they can't get out of the way of like ship rotors and stuff. And so
Are they a little
get
dumb?
when you see them, they'll have all these scrapes on them and little. What'd you say, Olivia?
No.
Are they a little dumb?
Manatee.
I mean, cows are a little dumb. Is that why they call them sea cows?
We don't know
they're not plotting any takeovers. You know what I mean? They're not plotting corporate takeovers.
They're not orcas. Okay.
They're not orcas. They are.
I just like saying the word manatee. I don't even know where that word comes from. It's a great word. But it's kind of a cool word. Manatee.
I agree. All right, Olivia, take us into our next moments of the episode, if you will.
After we meet the manatees, then we dip over to Team Avatar, who are having their own day at the water. They're enjoying Crater Lake. Aang discovers a lava tube, and he and Momo fly down the chute, waterside style, but directly into a lagoon being guarded by two Fire Nation soldiers who immediately spot the Avatar. They prepare a messenger hawk, and they take the news to Ozai. And then over on Ember Island, May, Zuko, Azula, Ty Lee, they're mingling among the other beachgoers, kind of hanging out. Ty Lee is getting some looks from her admirers who are competing for her attention, providing her shade. And Zuko tries to be a good boyfriend to May with very mixed results. And then it's time for a game of Quaiball, where Azula has a very handy ability of spotting her opponent's weaknesses and taking advantage of them. And needless to say, we win.
Yes, we defeated you for all time. You will never rise from the ashes of your shame and humiliation. That was fun.
We are going to represent Gray, even though she couldn't be here, with lots of juicy Azula quotes because
she's too serious.
But this episode is so full, like all of the most quotable Azula lines. Which, if you do conventions, if you visit Gray at conventions, and you're next to her, you will hear her giving those lines. Like
she's got all these lines. These are her. This episode is her lines this is obviously her favorite episode too, because she's always quoting these lines. But when we're going to go play that game, just like when all the the teens are getting ready to play. I mean, Zuko taking off his shirt is like, what are you doing?
With the seagulls in the background
out there.
And all the girls.
I mean, the birds, the John Woo birds fly behind him, and he's like, the girls are swooning over him.
He's a fox.
And then Azula just takes it too far. We're just trying to have a good time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're just trying to have a good time, a little fun game. And she's taking, next thing you know, it's like, we're going hard on these people. We're burning things, fires coming out. I mean, we just,
I know, you're right.
doing?
You're just trying to
I do love it.
Chill.
Like the
No
song.
chill at all.
But we do all know that. I mean,
behind you taking his shirt off, ripping like, some Al Green. And then she starts her thing, and it turns into
slow motion,
like Flash Gordon or something. It's you're right. The energy's totally changed.
Azula gets us hyped. Azula gets our crew hyped up too much, and all of a sudden we just start.
But let me say this: yes, we're talking about firebending here. That's a little intense, but we all have those friends. We all, and maybe you are one of those people, not this group, but maybe, and there's nothing wrong with it. But we all have those friends who are like, it was just supposed to be a friendly game night. Actually, now that I'm saying that, Dante, I'm looking at you talking about Monopoly.
So like that
because you
extra.
get hardcore. You basically are like, Alice, I'm going to destroy you for all time. Like, you are intense when you play that Monopoly game.
That's awesome.
Me and me and Janet's partner had a very intense game of Monopoly deal that went to other levels.
So we know.
Whoa!
I lost. Okay, I lost. And I'm still mad about it. I barely lost.
I love board games. I'm super competitive.
Can all fall
that
into that
really
competitive.
Fun. So during the game, Ty Lee and May have caught the attention of two dudes, of course, Chan and Ranjan, who invite them to the party that night. And Azula manages to snag an invite for her and Zuko, even though it's clear Chan and Ranjan have no idea who they are. Azula decides to keep it that way to see what it's like to not be automatically worshipped. Lo and Leigh tell the teens that Ember Island gives everyone a clean slate and it reveals the true you. I guess we'll see. Remember how those Fire Nation soldiers sent that messenger hawk alerting Ozai to the Avatar? Turns out it's being hunted by a raven eagle who knows exactly how to grab the rolled up scroll, bringing it to Combustion Man.
How would he know?
I know. At
How
first,
would he know?
didn't know about Combustion Man. I thought that eagle was just going to eat the other hawk.
Right.
Yeah. I was like, oh, damn, the hawk is about to get eaten. I thought he's just going to eat the hawk and like, good luck, Aang. That was great luck for Aang. But then I was like, oh, no.
Yeah.
Is this
a little
the
more
first and
complicated
only
than that.
time we see him in this series, Combustion Man?
No, he gets introduced an episode or two ago. And then he's going to,
we see Zuko like surreptitiously hire him in this sort of like dark area near the palace where, he's like, which by the way, I think we talked about this in that episode, but I don't think Zuko feels great about having to hire someone else to like do his work because that just plays into his whole psychology of like, my job was to, capture the Avatar. And now he's home, has to pretend like he killed the Avatar. And then he has to like, low key.
He's a delegator, Varney. He's a delegator.
You want to put that spin
I like
on it?
that
Uncle's
spin.
not here. And he's delegating.
He's just delegating. We can't do
I'm
it
a
all by
prince.
ourselves.
I can't do
royal.
everything. I'm a prince. I got to do some prince things.
Yeah.
And now I got to do some regular people things when my sister don't want to be.
Keep telling yourself that. Keep telling yourself that.
I love that they were like, I want to be regular people.
Plebeians. They want to be,
Like, I just want to see what it's going to be like.
And can I say that Chan, Ranjan, that whole, as much as
by the way, the
I
name
know
is
there's
amazing.
good folks in the, I know, I mean, there's good folks in the Fire Nation. There's some good folks. I hate these folks in Fire Nation. I hate these rich
because
kids
they like us.
just full of themselves folk, just out here being all
entitled.
Yeah.
All,
couple of
it's
bros.
just like the jerky teenager entitlement walking around. Like they're so dripping.
That's the best part of this whole episode is you see them all as teenagers because
I know.
In everything else, they're just bad people or whatever. But just because they're villains doesn't mean that they aren't teenagers. But just because they're teenagers doesn't mean that they aren't villains.
Well
and
said.
you really see them as kind of children in a way. Which it's it's unique in that way for this episode.
But I will say too, to both Dante and Olivia, you know some of these kids when you were teenagers in Los Angeles. Of you're like, oh, I know this. I know these. I know.
You may have been some of
Thankfully,
these
I was
kids.
not that kid.
Not
But-
you two.
We may have been some of these kids. That's what you're trying to say, Janet?
I'm
You're
not.
saying that we know or we've been.
I'm saying
what are
you
you
know.
trying to
I'm
say?
saying you would have been exposed to, but I know the contents of both of your hearts, and you weren't those people.
Okay.
So there.
Okay.
All right. So
We've
Yes,
all been jerks.
certainly.
as
We've all been
teenagers, I'm
jerks.
sure.
that's
Speak
true.
for yourself, though.
We're all layered, except for
layered.
Olivia, never a jerk. Okay,
I was
so that
homeschooled.
evening,
I'm
Azula, Ty Lee, Ty Lee, May, and Zuko arrive. I would say unfashionably early. Azula, of course, is under the impression that the party is from
She's annoying.
dusk to dawn precisely.
So
Again, just
annoying.
Not great, just casual social skills. Chan tells them not to mess anything in the house up since their dad, who is an admiral, has no idea that they're throwing the party. And then Azula has this other just amazing attempt at flirtation. And this, again, another one that Greg quotes at Comic-Cons. We love it.
Yes.
I feel like we just heard this. That's a sharp outfit, Chan. Careful, you could punch at the hull of an Empire fire-class nation battleship, leaving thousands drowned at sea because it's so sharp.
Thanks.
So Zuko is feeling very insecure about Ranjan, worried that May is into him, which, by the way, she's not. Ty Lee's been cornered by all of her suitors. I love this scene so much, being pressured to decide which one of them she likes. And classic Ty Lee, again, love this character. She just knocks them all out. She doesn't really want to. It's not like she's taking pleasure from it. She just knocks them out so she can move on with her night. I mean, Olivia.
She just want to flirt. It's too much pressure. It's too much pressure. She doesn't want to commit. It's too much
pressure.
Yeah.
She just wants to stay
She's gonna
upbeat,
have a
and I
good
just
time.
absolutely love her. One of my favorite characters. Also, May, one of my favorite characters. It's just such a great the dichotomy of those characters and their friendship is like such a sweet spot in the Avatarverse. Oh, it's great. It's great. Okay, so she's, you know, Ty Lee's just trying to move on with her night, but then Azula, very jealous, says some very horrible kind of mean stuff that I'm not even going to repeat.
Yes.
Okay, not going to repeat it here. However, we do very much need to take note of the fact that Azula does apologize to Ty Lee for what she said, and she even admits to being jealous, and she genuinely feels bad. What do you guys think about that?
I was so surprised by that rewatching it. It was like, what?
I clocked that too. I went, wow, she apologized. Is this the only time she apologizes in the whole episode? But honestly, and because Zuko's a little mean.
A whole series.
I know. Or series is what I meant. But like Zuko's, you know, rough to Ty Lee in this episode too. And Ty Lee's so sweet. You do feel bad for her every time someone's mean.
Right.
She's just, you know, she's just trying to keep it light and bright.
Well, she's so bubbly. She's so it can be annoying sometimes, all right, Olivia. But however,
Dante.
Ty Lee gets a little real too. Ty Lee gets a little real later. I mean,
she does.
We do. We all do.
Everyone gets a little real, including Ty Lee. Meanwhile, Zuko and May are that they're that emo couple in the corner. Can't be bothered to have a good time.
No.
They just can't be bothered. We've all seen it. We might have been there. It is annoying to see that little couple. Oh my! You're like, you guys are totally.
You're doing good boyfriend stuff though, because she says, "Go get me food," and you go, "Okay."
It's true.
He does listen.
Yeah. No, of course.
Yeah.
And then nothing.
Yep. Well, he's trying. Of course he listens because he's trying to make his girlfriend happy for a second, but she doesn't understand that. She doesn't. I mean, he'll do anything she says if like, what's gonna make you happy, and then you're gonna go do that, and then guess what? Doesn't make her happy.
That's the thing.
Like, what the heck you got me doing then?
She has inner turmoil because being a regular,
you think,
but being.
You're
inner
learning
turmoil. So much about Dante's dating life right now. Like we're totally
being in the royal palace, you know, where that's her identity, and now she has to come here and supposed to be a regular teenager. She's so far from that. She's so uncomfortable. She doesn't want to be regular. She doesn't want to even know what that means. She doesn't want any pressure.
Regular's fun sometimes, May.
Well,
Regular's
I don't
fun
think
sometimes.
she needs that kind of fun. I think I don't know what else she wants. But yeah, she's not a regular girl. She doesn't want dumb seashells, and she doesn't want a bedspread that looks like seashell vomit, and she doesn't.
How about food? How about this food I brought? How about the food? That food you asked me to get.
No, I don't want that.
No,
again, the line between Zuko and Dante, dangerously blurry when we do this podcast. Dangerously blurry.
I know women are fickle, right? So she's fickle. You know, she says that, and then she's like, "This is stupid. I don't want it." You know, I get it.
Meanwhile, outside on the balcony, Azula seems to have mastered Ty Lee's direction, laughing and complimenting Chan on his arms, and then bam, they kiss like out of nowhere. I'm like, whoa! It felt like seeing my sister kiss.
Yeah, but
like,
Ty Lee's
hold
advice.
Hold up now. That's
dating master.
I know, like Ty Lee's a master, but then Azula, that's so quick. That was, come on, can you you slow down? But unfortunately, it goes downhill from there.
You and I will be the strongest couple in the entire world. We will dominate the earth.
I gotta go.
Oh, what a laugh out loud moment. I mean, that is just gorgeous writing.
Yeah.
Katie
Katie's
and the rest
amazing.
of the writing team, massive shout out. But yeah, just perfect balance of Azula taking it too far. Because there's that moment where you're like, oh,
Been there.
okay,
Yeah.
great response to the kiss, and she's into it, and she's being very soft and tender, and it lasts maybe 2 seconds. And
there's
then,
certain
she's being
girls
herself.
and guys. They're too intense. There's certain guys and girls that are
Yes.
too intense, too fast.
Yes.
And the first kiss that intense,
Yeah,
she wanted to
yeah,
go rule the world
yeah.
together.
Well, it's
What?
fear of
What?
abandonment.
this might be your one
what?
chance.
There's
We
a
don't
lot
know.
going on there. She's like, I got him. I got a little. I got to take
Pump
all.
those brakes. Pump those brakes.
Yep.
Pump those
Pump the
brakes
brakes.
hard.
Well, and inside, Zuko's not doing so well either. The food he gets from May gets knocked out of his hand, and Ranjan is chatting her up when he gets back. Zuko, is this the first time that Zuko says that May is his girlfriend? Maybe. And Zuko sends him flying across the room with one tap to his solar plex, and May loses it. Is this the end of Mako? It's definitely the end of Zuko being at the party because he gets kicked out. Luckily, this gives him a chance to do what he does best, which is be moody alone with his thoughts. He walks the beach, he finds an old family house, and remembers the old days, including happy memories with both his mom and his dad, which he's mad about. Zuko breaks into the house, now empty and quiet, still reliving the past. He finds a portrait of the family and an old cast of his hand from when he was a little boy. It's a great representation of how much has changed since then.
There is something so bittersweet about, like, if you're a person whose parents kept stuff like that, whether it's like your bronze baby shoes, which used to be a thing, or like a handprint or like an old turkey that you drew from your hand that you traced when you were a kid.
My mom has all that stuff.
Right? Seeing that stuff, you could really go to that place, even, and then maybe especially when you're a teenager, when suddenly you feel like older than time, like you're a teenager and you're like, I've been alive on this earth for so many years. Look at me. I used to be this fresh-faced child. Now I'm 15 or 16.
Oh, that's funny. That's true,
there.
though. Do you
We've
remember
been there.
feeling like that as a teenager?
Yeah.
I remember being like, 21 is a million years old. Who wants to be that old? And now I'm like, then it was like 30.
Yeah.
30 was like,
exactly.
You might as well just give up. I mean, 30's like, now I'm like, okay.
Your future is written.
Yeah, it's funny. And now it's going late.
Yeah.
I always thought, well, I'm not going to be that person who turns a certain age and then continues doing that. But I am. Like now I'm like, well, 60 is the new 30.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. I think that's healthy.
I mean,
I think that just means you're accepting the place
Olivia
you are.
grew up on TV. And me and Olivia grew up on TV and film. So there's like, I'll see myself in reruns or something, or someone will send something
Weird,
online
isn't it?
from 12 or
gosh.
15 or
Does it feel like a
20
different
or
person?
20. It's strange. I mean, it's cool. It just seems like, your history. Like, I was pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
Well, don't worry,
It does feel
'cause
like a life.
Now we have the internet.
Yeah,
and
like a
so
lifetime ago.
every
Yeah.
young person who puts themselves on camera, like I love you guys. My heart goes out to you, kiddos, and I don't mean that in a condescending way. Like for those of us who have tape of ourselves as younger people, we're definitely like. But you know what? Maybe Cricket. What do you think about this? Maybe our relationship and our acceptance of how much we change or how embarrassed we are of ourselves when you're younger, maybe that will mellow out by virtue of the fact that kind of everyone gets used to it or everyone has to.
It
What do you think
does.
about
It's
that?
just like the rock where they say it has, the rough edges, right? And that it smooths over. That's our life. So all of our peccadillos, all of our sort of things that bug us, hopefully about ourselves and others, they do smooth over. I mean, eventually maturity, wisdom, laughter, a lot of hardship and love happens to you. And you're forced to sort of be like, okay, what's important? Right. And accepting that stuff is like, I love being a dork now and laughing at stuff. I'll watch a video of a play or a musical I did. I'm like, oh my Lord, I was so weird. Like, that's the best, So, but it is an accomplishment. Like Dante said, he's looking at that like, wow, I did that. That's really cool.
Speaking of hardships, let's check in with Team Avatar Cricket. Where are they?
Everyone is asleep near the water in the volcano crater until Toph perceives the arrival of what she describes as a metal man. Close, Toph. But it's Combustion Man. He's standing on the cliff above them, and by the beam of the light cast over Aang's face, it's pretty clear Combustion Man has found what he's looking for, the Avatar. He seems to direct the force of his power through his third eye and creates this insane, explosive blast at Team Avatar. Katara waterbends a wave toward him and he just explodes it into steam. Then we go back to Ember Island, where Azula finds Zuko at the old family home. She coaxes him back down the beach, and it really seems like Azula's being very tender with him. If Ember Island brings out the true you, is this somehow the true Azula? Zuko tries to make up with May and offers to build a fire to keep everyone warm.
Zuko, and I mean Dante, when I say Zuko, I saw you shake your head violently over there when Cricket posited that maybe that's the real Azula.
No.
No.
You almost gave yourself whiplash.
I always see, look in her eye. Every time she does something nice, I look deep into her eyes.
Yeah.
In the cartoon. And I'm like, that ain't real. That ain't.
I always flash back to that episode
That
where
ain't
they're little
real.
kids and she's bad as a little kid. You know what I mean?
I know.
Yeah.
Born bad. That's
hard to
There's
bounce
a
back.
movie called The Bad Seed.
I've seen
The
it.
book, The Bad
I've seen
Seed.
it twice.
Love it.
Yeah.
For all you Azula lovers out there, go check out The Bad Seed.
Poor turtle ducks. Poor turtle ducks. So we go back to Team Avatar, and they're just trying to avoid getting combusted. Aang tells everyone to jump on Appa while he tries to distract Combustion Man. So now we got Aang and Combustion Man. We call him CM. Busty? Maybe we should call him Busty.
that.
I don't know. Maybe he needs a nickname.
Or
Combustion
Buster.
Man's very formal. So Buster,
Combustion
thank you. I love it. Okay. So Buster and Aang are like racing through this very cool volcanic canyon. It kind of reminded me of one of the volcano craters that you can visit on the Big Island in Hawaii. If those of you have been, you can go hike down into this crater and there are these kind of boulders that stick up. It's very otherworldly and very cool. So I do recommend it. Aang does some really impressive earthbending, but Combustion Man, he's got him in his sights. And I mean his sights, third eye sights. There's a very cool slow motion kind of portion where we get to see the energy coming at Aang, who manages to airbend out of the way, but his airbending kind of ignites the blast in the process, or so it seems to me. And he soars through the air, has to like punch through a pillar of stone at the last minute, and then he's hiding in this pile of rubble that got created when Buster finds him. But then he creates this kind of suit of armor made from the stone to blast his way safely onto Appa's back, and the gang gets away.
Yay.
And Toph is sort of willing to allow that it's this kind of random attack, but no. Katara is like, something's up. I got a feeling they know exactly who we are, right? Scary.
Brief, but very intense. Very intense.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think Buster
Nah.
can be anything but
Yeah.
intense. He's gonna bring
I know,
that
he
I
tension
mean,
with
he
us.
made a suit based. He made the wave into steam, hot steam. He's
Yeah.
coming in
at you hot.
Yeah.
Top's like, maybe that was
He's
just,
coming.
accidental. You're like, no,
Yeah.
that wasn't some
But I was thinking
accidental thing.
Combustible Man also
guy's
could have
too-
like a lot of gas, and maybe that would be what Combustion Man means, and he would kill you with his gas, which would be horrible.
Yeah, I'm sure he has a lot
Yeah.
of gas.
Yeah,
He's
maybe that was the
Combustion
first
Man.
That's what
draft
I'm
of the
wondering.
script. And,
Katie was-
people were like,
That's how he
Katie
gets
was
his
like,
inner
"Yeah."
power. That's
Yeah.
how he gets it up. Like the power
He
to
blasts.
blast you.
yeah,
However,
I love it.
back on Ember Island, we watch as Zuko burns the portrait of his family. I mean, he starts his fire. Zuko's doing too much too. Let's be honest. Zuko,
Yeah,
you
a
just.
lot.
I mean, yeah. Let's start a fire. You can't just burn. You can't go burn pictures of your family.
I
You haven't even
know,
seen your
I
mom
know.
forever. You're gonna burn the picture,
Good
Zuko.
point.
He is anger man.
Well, May
May
hurt his feelings.
He's
So,
a-
I mean, I hate to say it, but
Everyone's hurting his feelings. Ty Lee gently confronts Zuko. Really, Ty Lee? Really? Ty Lee, you got something to say about that?
You know, I'm
She's
just trying to
gentle.
hold up a mirror. Just trying to
But,
hold up a mirror.
I know. And when, he said he doesn't care and then she thinks she doesn't care, then, it could be an opportunity for Zuko to kind of be a little vulnerable, especially with his, his old friends, Ty Lee. But guess what? No vulnerability from Zuko. Of course, he can't handle it. And he ends up calling her a circus freak,
Oh,
which I know,
Awful.
that's so mean.
so
mean.
dirty.
Iconic.
And Azula
but
laughs. It's iconic. Circus freak, which is mean. And
Yeah.
of course, Azula laughs
Mhm.
because she's mean.
yeah. Now, Olivia, we can play this clip, but I do feel like it would be really fun for fans if you gave the clip to us live.
Oh,
do you want
gosh.
to
Okay.
read
Yeah,
her
I
little?
think I have it here,
Yeah,
right?
Should be.
Okay. All right. Yes, I'm a circus freak. Go ahead and laugh all you want. You want to know why I joined the circus? Do you have any idea what my home life was like growing up with 6 sisters who look exactly like me? It was like I didn't even have my own name. I joined the circus because I was scared of spending the rest of my life as a matching set. At least I'm different now. Circus freak is a compliment. Cold read.
Brilliant.
I got
good.
emotional.
I know.
It's so
I
good.
was
It was such an
picturing the
emotional thing.
sisters.
It's a great
I like seeing Ty Lee being
I mean-
vulnerable and like not always the bubbly herself, and she just got some real talk in. Like, let me let you know.
We finally get some backstory of what she's really about and all that. And I love in any script or whatever origin stories, and that's part of what makes this so great. You kind of get some origin story of May and a little bit more of Zuko, and Azula still doesn't have any introspection really, but for everyone else, you find out a little bit deeper of what's going on.
Azula gets a little bit in the episode. She gets a little bit, but
But I
doesn't
love
go
that she
too
says
heavy
circus
into
freak
it.
is a compliment.
She
Like,
gets a
when
pinch.
you would say something as a kid, they'd be like,
You
well,
gotta
yeah.
take it.
So I know
Yes.
I am, but what are you? I know you are. What am I? It's like, it's kind of great that she just owns it and says, yeah, you think you're being really cool, Zuko. It's actually a compliment. Burn.
Yeah,
I love it too.
exactly. But
Wow.
the other thing I thought about when she said she had like 6 sisters that look just like her, I was like, damn, all those guys are hitting on you. You could bring your sisters back over here and
Horrible.
then everyone would be happy.
She didn't want that.
Now it's a party.
That's not the answer.
You know what I'm saying?
That's not the answer.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
She has 6 girls look exactly like her,
Nope.
and all these guys are falling over her. It's
But
like,
she's
I got
trying to be
sisters.
different.
Bring the
She wants to
sisters
stand
Ember Island.
out.
Ladies and gentlemen, the man on the
Yes.
podcast. I love it.
Take one for the
Oh, it is
team.
a part.
Take one for the team.
Do you struggle with being smarter, more powerful, and good-looking than everyone else? Has your goddess-like brilliance ever made it hard to make friends with idiots? If so, you need Azula's terrifyingly great masterclass on manners and etiquette. With this renowned course, critics I have locked in a dungeon are calling a masterpiece in manipulation. You'll learn how to charm even the biggest of losers. Now with a special added chapter on ruining the lives of anyone this book doesn't work on. Azula's terrifyingly great masterclass on manners and etiquette. You'll laugh, you'll learn, you'll dominate the universe.
So after Ty Lee has her infamous speech, May dogs her for wanting attention from everyone. So Ty Lee's forced to turn it back on May, telling her about how dingy and gray her aura is, which I also love when she tells everyone they're going to break out because they're stressing too much. And then it's back to May and Zuko snipping at each other, and Zuko's like, could you please have a reaction to something? And May replies,
What do you want from me? You want a teary confession about how hard my childhood was? Well, it wasn't. I was a rich, only child who got anything I wanted as long as I behaved and sat still and didn't speak unless spoken to. My mother said I had to keep out of trouble. We had my dad's political career to think about. She had to be, that old school, like, don't speak unless spoken to, be part of the wallpaper. It's like kids were just...
children are seen and not heard.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was like a duty to procreate as opposed to like a choice maybe. And I think she's like finally saying, oh my God, all you morons who are constantly talking about yourselves and your feelings, I guess you want me to do the same. And she's even saying no in that. Like, no, I was rich. I got what I wanted.
Right.
As long as I had to keep my mouth shut. I couldn't move a lot. I couldn't express myself. And I couldn't get my family in trouble or we wouldn't have wealth, right? So she was repressed. And that's sad. And yeah.
I get that. I get that, Cricket. But, from someone coming from a big family, it sounds like an only kid talking about
Okay,
only
well,
kid
you go ahead and
stuff.
shut that down right now. You shut that down right now. By the way, she's not an only child anymore. So for those of us who are only children,
Only child.
Some of us
talk about them
some of us
only
were
child
poor.
blues.
Some of us were poor.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. But even
But I will say
only
quickly,
child, if your family is repressing your emotions, that's a problem. Like, yeah.
No, I know. I know.
Well, and
I know.
Zuko's
Sure.
asking her to share her emotions, but he can't handle her emotions. He can't even handle his own emotions,
Right, he's
Great
saying
point.
he's putting it out there. He's putting it out there.
point.
He's putting it out there, Olivia. He's putting it out there. He might not be able to
Yeah,
handle it,
well,
but he's
she
putting it
does
out there.
answer.
Don't you guys feel too like there's sort of an alternate universe thing happening with May and Toph when you hear this? Like you hear that this is this experience that May had, and it's almost like that's how
royal
Toph was also
family,
raised.
mirroring.
Like, just be
yeah.
like this demure child, and like, oh, she's
It's true.
got to keep her safe, got to keep her locked up, because in her case, she has this, disability that they're worried about. But it's almost like, had Toph just done what she was told, she could be May. And what if May kind of cracked and ended up going in this other direction? Maybe she would be more like Toph. So I like that. I feel like there's a cool kind of breaking off of
Azula takes her turn psychoanalyzing and tells May this is why she's afraid to care about anything.
Do you think that's true?
I think she's probably like really committed to being caring about her friends. Like, I think she cares about these people a lot. So I don't know if it's afraid. I think her family just made her feel invisible, and that makes you feel not important, and that what you do may not make an impact. So I do think it's good to psychoanalyze her, but I don't know that I agree that it's fear that she's afraid to care about anything. She just also doesn't know if other people are going to reciprocate in the way she would. And that could be scary.
She could just be in a mood. You know, May is moody sometimes.
She's a teenager.
She could be in a mood.
Yeah, she's a teenager. She's a teenager, but she out of everyone is the most grounded,
May.
like slow burn, same person all through.
Yeah, she is grounded.
She's actually
she's kind of more grown up than the rest of us in a weird way.
A touchstone. So I don't know if she's moody. I think maybe, but I don't mind. And everyone in this episode is picking at each other. You know, Ty Lee warns everyone that negative energy is bad for your skin, which is true.
He's not wrong.
Hold up. If like Zuko mirrors Aang, and then like now May is mirroring Toph, is Ty Lee Sokka?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
What's going on here? I don't know what's
at
happening.
some point, right? So
that's true.
2 peas in a pod.
They're both fun.
Yeah,
They're
they are
both
both kind of light. Yeah, they
energies.
I like that.
I know. I like this.
Light and bright.
That's really interesting.
Which leads Zuko, right, to remind everyone what his own dad did to his face. Ouch.
Well, because she's talking about skin. You're talking about pimples, Ty Lee.
Is this
pimples?
the first time? Like, does Ty Lee know previously what had happened to Zuko's face?
Yes, Ty Lee knows. We're friends. We're homies from when we were kids. I'm the Prince of the Fire Nation. Everyone knows what happened to me.
You were gone, right, for a while. So I don't know that she knows.
Dante, you're taking all of this gray, dingy energy, and you're going to
break out.
Conversation with our friends. We're all hurting now.
Break out.
We're talking about acne. Are we talking about acne? Look at me. For the love of the Fire Lord, look at my face. And we're talking about acne?
You're going to make me cry. Yes.
I'm going with she didn't know. She does know the origin story. She does know you're burned though, so fair enough. Yeah.
Well, ultimately he's
okay.
It's not a good look.
Oh, I think you look great. Zuko, you're my boo. I don't care how hard.
Thank you, Cricket. Thank you, May.
But ultimately, when
like
Zuko's forced to really drill down into his feelings, he's most angry at himself. He wonders if he even knows the difference between right and wrong anymore.
It's a breakthrough for Zuko. This is a real breakthrough moment for him where he's been so angry and he just, and everyone's kind of pressuring him and he has a break, and
because he got so mad that May was like, I'm done. Like, this is crazy. Right. But in a way, you're right. He is.
What? He's hanging out with 3 girls, one being his sister.
But Ty Lee, Olivia, you're right.
After a while, you can only take so much, and you're gonna have to tell them what's going on.
We should all just start beating up on you right now? Is that what you're saying? You're here with 3 girls.
Yeah, exactly what's going on. I just hear it, and then after a while, you're like, I built the fire. I brought you chicken. What do you guys want?
Diamonds. No.
Except you're more mad at yourself. So
yeah. Why are you mad at yourself?
That's what's going on.
But he does get mad at himself. He does get mad. He gets to the place that he's so frustrated. Uncle's not here. My best friend.
Yeah. Well, we see how you treat your best
Ron
friend.
John's here.
He was
Chan's here. I know, but why?
Forget Ron John. We don't like Ron John. Ron John can go to
heck. You
heck.
don't know their insides. They might be good people.
I don't care about Ron John. He's disgusts me.
Oh,
I hate that guy.
Whew. There's some Fire Nation fire
You
coming
go
out.
hang out with Ron John if you want to go hang out with Ron John.
Okay, you ask yourself, well,
This is amazing. This is my new favorite episode of the podcast.
Had it up to here. Zuko's had it up to here. Why am I on vacation with my sister and her best friends? Who thought that was a good idea?
Katie
don't
did.
wanna
I
do
love
this.
Katie for writing this wonderful episode that we all love.
Katie's like, what every brother wants to do is go on a vacation with his sister and her best
Agreed,
friend.
that doesn't
who
sound
can
One of
kill
them is your
everybody.
girlfriend, so
Yeah, wait.
pipe down.
Ty Lee is literally
All right.
the
One
only
is my
person who
girlfriend.
wants
That's
to be
true.
there.
It's true.
Nobody else wants
That's
to be
true.
there.
That's true. That's a very good point.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly.
So
But for Zuko,
how you
oh,
do-
sorry, go.
No, go ahead. No,
do you
go.
want me to do this line or not?
Yeah. I don't. Do you think you can handle it? I'm scared. I don't want you to set this whole set on fire. I'm afraid.
I mean, Zuko's in his feelings right now.
Let's hear it, Zuko.
He's like, for so long, I thought if my dad accepted me, I'd be happy. I'm back home now. My dad talks to me. He even thinks I'm a hero. Everything should be perfect, right? I should be happy now, but I'm not. I'm angrier than ever, and I don't know why.
Woo! That was
So
awesome.
many feels. So many
Oh,
feels. I
Zook.
really feel for these.
I
I
mean,
really feel for these teens.
I know.
Even Azula.
I
Even
know.
Azula, because we have this great moment with her where, I mean, it's kind of mitigated, but, we have her moment where she says that she knows that her own mother thought she was
Yes.
a monster. She was right, of course, but it still hurt.
You
And
do it so good.
you think about it and you're like, okay, well, if she was born bad and her mom understood that on some fundamental level, then you can't really blame her mom. But at the same time, like, it's the nature versus nurture
Yeah.
thing, right? It's like, if you're treated the way that, like, do we treat people the way we expect them to turn out, therefore causing them to turn out the way we expected? And would have anything been different had you not just sort of said, like, oh, you're a bad kid. Like, oh, you're a criminal. You're going to steal stuff. Or like, oh, you're just like an empty person who doesn't feel anything. Like, do we become
fill
the
those
thing
roles.
that people tell us we
Yeah,
are?
we do fill them, I think.
Mhm.
And I think there's that random lucky,
You know?
one who's, told that they're not great and they do have those resiliency factors somewhere in their life, like a grandma or a coach or a friend, or even watching Avatar, right? Like those Uncle Iroh.
Or an Uncle
and they
Iroh,
have these
an Uncle
resiliencies
Iroh.
that bring them
Yeah.
out of it. But generally, yeah, we were reared and raised to be how we were, how they thought we would
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. And then of course after this moment where we find out, where Azula sort of recognizes her own personality and talks about her mom, Ty Lee is the one that points out that Lo and Leigh were right
Yes.
about Ember Island. It really did provide this
Yes.
insight into their characters. So I love that Ty Lee is the one who sort of identifies that and points it out. And then the teens realize there's just maybe one thing that would actually help save the trip. Just make the trip really special, bonding experience, something really positive, something that's going to make them all feel better about who they are. And of course, we're talking about destroying Janet Varney's house. So
Burn it all to the
Fire
ground.
Nation to the
Oh,
core.
They're so
Fire
bad.
Nation
He just rolled
Delinquency.
up
to the
like,
core.
guess what? I'm that guy.
Oh, we
Y'all
do
didn't
know.
but I'm that guy.
We know.
We're about to break the table, everything, the whole spot. This is rock
Ooh,
and
that's
roll.
my
Led
favorite
Zeppelin
band.
time. Van Halen in this house.
And that final shot of them all just with the flames behind them.
They went full
Yeah.
on rock and
Yeah.
roll.
So good. That's their
Superstar
album cover.
in the
That's the
hotel
album
room.
cover right there at the
Yes,
end. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not cool.
No,
it's
it's
not
not.
cool. Then
I
let's
mean,
be
it's
honest.
like,
That's not
couldn't
cool.
couldn't you have gone and play paintball or something? Do you know what I
Right,
mean? Like,
something.
what's
TP the house.
TP.
TP the
Or
house.
activity?
Yes, I
TP.
like that.
TP the house.
Okay, as far as hybrid animals goes, we have the manatee whale, which we talked about. We have the messenger hawk, which
Yeah.
I feel like maybe is
I
just
don't
a
know
hawk.
what that was.
Yeah,
That
it
was
is just
scary
a
looking
hawk.
hawk.
It's just given a title.
Yeah.
Nah. Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, the messenger hawk, but
I
then the
think
other
so.
animal that came
Raven
in.
eagle.
What was that thing? What was that
Raven
bigger
eagle.
bird?
Raven
regal.
eagle. Or a regal. I like that. That's one of those things where you feel like the hawk is this total like badass where you're like, oh, the hawk is so cool. Like it's gonna, and then you see this giant, even bigger, scarier bird.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh no, that poor hawk. Like how
Hawk is
quickly we
exactly.
change to like who the underdog is. You know what I mean? Okay, we got to talk about who had the most valuable and most valuable non-bending and bending
Okay.
of the episode. There's not a
Okay.
whole lot of bending that happens in this episode, so we'll see where we get with
Except
that.
that-
Might be going over to Team Avatar, but yeah, what do you guys think? What do you
I
I
think?
mean,
Buster,
Buster.
right?
He busted it.
Buster. Buster, man, Buster. It's so scary given the shout out most valuable to the adversaries, but we've done it before. We may do it
Well, what do
today
you
with
guys think?
Buster.
I mean, that's
most valuable
the one
bender?
I was thinking, but also because he's such a fun, I mean, Combustion Man is just the greatest name. It's like, I don't know, it's like Pie Man. It's great. Like he throws pies and kills you. So I don't know, there's just something kind of fun about making him the most valuable bender.
Yeah, because the bending on the other side was not important to bend. I mean, like, we're as teenagers, you're bending like your super abilities in social situations don't really matter much.
No, if you were bending money, that would work.
That's right. Aang does defend himself well. I mean, he does get away. He is not killed. He makes that suit out of stone. So I guess I would maybe vote for
probably
rubble.
I think I
it's
do vote for
Aang,
the rubble suit. That was
he kind of looked like a stone Iron Man because not only did he save himself and get out of it, he did that plan so he could save the whole team Avatar.
Yeah.
You're
from
right.
Combustion Man. So I guess that is the most
right.
valuable moment.
Okay. But shout out, honorable mention.
Honorable
Buster.
mention.
Maybe he didn't get enough love in his life.
Yes.
We're going to throw some his way. What about most valuable non-bending? This is really important. I feel like this is really important.
I
and
think it's
I want
Ty
to
Lee.
say that the mind-bending cricket, the mind-bending that happens in this episode, I feel like we're going to find the most valuable non-bending somewhere in this with our little group of teens who understand each other sometimes better than maybe they understand themselves. I almost want to give it to Ty
I do
Lee.
too.
I don't know. I feel
Ty
like,
Lee.
you know,
teach Azula how to interact with people, which is no small feat. I mean, that's
and you got her to
right there.
apologize to you. And you were the one that realized everyone's perspective, like that everyone did kind of see their true selves. I mean, I think Ty Lee is MVP in this episode.
Yeah, and she tells. I love when Zuko says, "You don't know me," and she goes, "I know you." You know, there's just she's kind of in everybody's. She is mind bending everybody.
I think so
this
too.
episode. Okay, Ty Lee MVP. I'll take it.
Yeah, did you see how she said, "I know you"? Like they go back.
you.
She knows about that scar, Olivia. Don't talk about no acne when we're talking about scars. Like she didn't know about this.
He found a way to use it against you.
You know, Ty Lee.
He found a way
you
to
were
use it
there.
against you.
We
But
were
she
hanging
knows
out.
your
We
scars
know
are
about the
mostly
whole thing.
internal.
It's still Ty Lee.
No, Ty Lee.
It's still
And
Ty Lee.
also, for Zuko's, just to save Zuko's hide, I want to give a special shout out to the Raven Hawk for taking down the other hawk.
That's
with
true.
the message that was like,
That's
get to my
true.
dad and get me really
Great
in
point.
trouble. And it
Buster
got to my
helped.
man, Combustion Man, who I hired, worth every single Fire Nation dollar. This guy.
That's your
That's
guy.
my guy. Like, if you're gonna go hire someone to do something, hire someone that can, I know he didn't get the job all the way done yet, but I mean, this dude is worth every Fire Nation dollar spent thus far.
We definitely benefit from Ozai not finding out about Aang. That is a very, very good point.
Zuko's
Still gonna
hide
give it
is
to Ty Lee,
for
but shout out.
sure.
Yeah,
shout
Ty
out.
Lee. Friends, this has been so wonderful, magical,
Thank
and
you guys
great,
so
and
much for
everything we
hanging out.
hoped it would be
Always
and
great
more.
So
seeing you guys and
fun.
hanging out.
I
We
know.
miss you guys.
Yeah.
Love you.
I'm here
We love
anytime.
you guys. Where can people find you? Tell us anything you would like to share with folks and where they can find you and all that good stuff.
I'm on Instagram. Find me on Instagram. I don't do Twitter or X or whatever it's called now. But I'm just hanging out over there. And I'm at cons all the time. So check it out and come see me. And I would love to meet you.
Love it. And I usually get to go to some of these with her. And we love, as you were saying earlier, that you love the dichotomy between the two. I think we also have that personally, me and Olivia. So we have a great time together at the cons. I'm on Instagram and YouTube as Cricket Leigh Talks. And the talk is because I'm a voice person and a therapist. And then I'm on TikTok at just Cricket Leigh. I would love to see y'all. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Wonderful. All right, buddy.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks again.
Did you know you can hear bonus episodes of our award-winning podcast?
Subscribe to Avatar Braving the Elements Premium on Apple Podcasts for early access, exclusive content, and ad-free listening.
I'm so excited.